Hello, so I'm just gonna make a video about, I don't know, a topic I'm probably gonna think about spontaneously. I was thinking maybe, like, trying to explore the question of whether science and religion uh, should be analysed in the same way. Um, I might just do that. I think I've probably done this before, but yeah, I think I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so, first things first, I'm going to say that I have a problem with religious fundamentalism. I have a problem with people who treat the Bible or other religious scriptures as a textbook and yeah, and literally pick take the Bible and interpret it completely literally. I do have a problem with that because I don't believe that the Bible was intended to be read in that way. Now, I haven't read the whole Bible, but I've got a Bible on my windowsill that I sometimes read on the night because it's one that my nana gave me, so it's pretty old. But yeah, there's some pretty nice stories in there and some metaphorical stuff. And also, I watch a lot of Jordan Peterson, and he does a biblical series, I think it's called. And yeah, so I've watched some of that. I actually haven't watched that in a long time, actually. But yeah, I used to enjoy listening to that, and yeah, I'd quite like to study it a little bit more because I don't know, like when Jordan Peterson talks about it, it's like he talks about it in such a captivating way that it speaks to me, and I feel like that the things he talks about actually, like, I've been able to implement his teachings into my own life in order to, I guess, improve my experience on the earth. And yeah, and what this video isn't going to be about science versus religion, by the way. Change my mind. One of the things that he talks a lot about is intrinsic truth and axioms and the logos, and I find all this stuff really interesting because I went through a stage in my life of being quite nihilistic, I guess you could say. At first I'd say it was unconsciously nihilistic, starting from about the age of 12, just I guess realising that your parents don't really know much about the world. Like, I don't know how to put this, but um, just realising that, like, because I guess you grow up as an infant and you believe that the person who takes care of you, for me it is my mum, you believe that they're God. You believe that they like this all-knowing being who you can go to with your problems, and then, well, for some people anyway, and they'll just have the answers, and boom, and then you realise, okay, this person doesn't have all the answers. This person doesn't have as much control over me as they claim to do, as they claim to have. And I definitely realise that. And I think it's partially because I spent time with people who also wanted to rebel and who also wanted to get away from the parents. So I was like, well, these people do it, so I can do it too. And yeah, um, actually, one of the people I used to hang around with, and this is quite a messed up thing, but he said you've got to train your parents, and I guess in a way it's true because, like, for me, I was the firstborn, so it's like your parents have never been through the job of parenting before, and parenting should be, it should be a negotiation between the parent and the child. It shouldn't just be a tyrannical control, or the parent being the slave to the child where the child just takes over completely, which is probably what happened with me. Um, yeah, it should be a negotiation. The parent should speak to the child as an adult, but also establish boundaries, because that's what you've got to do in your adult life. You want to give the child enough freedom to be able to make their own mistakes, but when they step out of line, you have to let them know that that behaviour isn't acceptable. Um, yeah, obviously it's a lot easier said than done, but that's how it seems to be. Anyway, I realised that my mum didn't have that much control over me, that I could that I could push the boundaries. So it's like, okay, how far can I push the boundaries? And she hated me pushing boundaries, but I guess at first she was a little bit unaware, but I just go out and smoke weed with my friends and just get drunk, and it's like, okay, well, I can get away with this. She doesn't know about it. It's all right. Um, and I started off with smoking, actually, just smoking cigarettes, and I remember the first time she found out about that was my form tutor at school. I'd got in trouble for a few other reasons. Basically, one of them was laughing at the end of like a mock exam. I think it was in year 8. Must have been year 8 because she left when I was in year 9. So yeah, year 8, and she basically she was telling me and my friend off, and I got in trouble in some other lessons as well. So she she rang my mum, and she told her everything. She told her about just me pissing about at school, not taking things seriously, going on different coloured report cards for bad behaviour, and smoking. And I was like, that was the thing I was most scared about, because like my mum smokes, but yeah. So I remember walking home, and I walked through the door, and she was like really disappointed with me. She was like, "Steph, I want to talk to you." It's like, oh no, and it's like, yeah, it was pretty bad, but it didn't deter me from doing it. So I kept obviously I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and I got to a point where like I just didn't care about anything anymore. Like I didn't care. It's like I didn't care about my mom finding out about things. I didn't care about arguing with people. I didn't care about if I got kicked out of school. To an extent actually. I didn't want to get kicked out of school, even though I never really went. I'd stay in bed most of the day, and then I'd go to school for a little bit on the afternoon, and I'd go to the sport clubs after school because I really liked playing sports. But yeah, even that started getting affected towards the end, because I'd just end up kicking off when we went to sporting events with the school, and eventually I just wasn't allowed to go, and it was a big shame. And yeah, so that was one thing I did care about, sport, and I still do. I had a football match this morning. We lost pretty bad, but I played a lot better than last week. Just got to start working more together as a team. Yeah, so it's like, as a child, it's like you think you know who you are, I guess, or it's like you're not really conscious of it. It doesn't really matter. You can just go through life freely. Then it's like you reach a point where it's like, I did anyway. I reached a point where I was like, I'm not me. This isn't who I am. And then that was basically after a lot of years of rebellion. It's like, okay, well, who is this? What is this mask I'm wearing? Why am I enacting this persona like so often? I realised that, and it was scary. So it's like, I'm not me, and then that raises the question, okay, well, who am I? And then it's like, oh fuck, everything's insignificant, and nothing has any meaning, and life is, I don't know, the truth just became completely relativized, and yeah, I had a lot of existential crises, and they basically kept on coming on pretty strongly, like to the point I was like, everything was just meaningless, like completely meaningless, and it was just extreme nihilism, I guess. And Jordan Peterson helped me fix that. He taught me about axioms, and an axiom is basically an accepted truth. And for so many years, religions was people's axioms. And this video is going to cut out soon, but I've got other things to say. Religion was people's axioms, but then Nietzsche declared the death of God after I guess the Renaissance movement in over the last 400 years, and Nietzsche declared the death of God about 100 years ago, I think, and then he predicted that would lead to mass genocide, I can't remember, and nihilism, and I think something to do with politics, and that's pretty much what happened. And yeah, so I went through the nihilistic stage, and that's pretty inevitable with postmodernism, because postmodernism claims that there is no intrinsic truth. And yeah, thanks for watching, because it's gonna